In this video, I'll do a brief demonstration of using Flipgrid. Flipgrid is a free video discussion platform from Microsoft. In Flipgrid, educators post discussion prompts and students respond with short videos, whether they are learning in class or at home. There are 4 key steps in setting up and using Flipgrid. First, you need to activate your account, and it is free. Then you create a class or discussion topics that you want to conduct with your class. Then for each topic, you set the access permissions and you share that content. And then the learners respond and interact with one another. So let's get started. First, signing up. To sign up, you need to go to flipgrid.com. And then on the top right here, you need to click on Educator Sign Up. Or if you already have an account already, you click on Login. Now, if you're a user or your students, they can also join the Flipgrid discussion by entering a particular code, and I'll explain how that works in a moment. So now here under Educator Sign Up, you need to sign up either with the Google account or a Microsoft account. Then click here on Sign Up with Google, and then enter your Google email and password. Now it needs to be an education account for this to work. So let's assume that I have done this step earlier. Once you have activated your account, then you'll be presented with something similar to this. So you'll have the options here on the top: discussion, discovery. Discussion is basically your workplace for any of your topics that you're discussing with your class or groups of individuals. Discovery is the option where you can actually reuse content that other Flipgrid users have created and have determined that they want to share it with the community. So notice there are 35,000 topics currently shared with the community, and you can use, and I'll explain this further, but you can search it and so on from here for specific topics. Under activity, you can see what's going on in your account as far as achievements or groups that you have created, topics, responses, and things of that nature. And then mixtapes it makes it easy to create collections of videos and topics. So mixtape, you can reuse the content from various topics and share these. So think of it like playlists. For the discovery, think of it like templates in Microsoft Word or another application. So you're reusing templates from that platform. Then shorts, this is where you can create short videos and share those videos with any users with a link, so they don't need to actually authenticate to access those. So let's go back here to discussion, and the first thing that you'd want to do in this case is to create a group or a class. So think of it like you want to create, let's say you're teaching elementary school, you could have a group, one for your first grade, another one for the second grade, and third grade, and so on. Now, the idea is that you enroll the students in the group, and then any of the discussion topics within that group, they'll have access to it. So think of it again like a class. Now, to create a group, you click on Create Group here, and then you give it a name. Now, the next thing here under the group, there is also a join code. This is that option that the students can actually, you can post that URL to somewhere on your course, and I'll show you how to do it in a moment. Or somebody can join this group by going to the Flipgrid website and then entering that code to join this group. So they can join by having the direct URL to this group or by using the code. So here's where they would enter the code. They go to Flipgrid and they choose to enter the code right here from the main website. The next is specifying permissions. So when you set up a group, there are four major steps. You have the details, which would be these details, group name, join code. Then you have the permissions for the group. Then you have specific features, and then you're personalizing this group. So under permissions, typically you want to add the student emails to your group. So you go and list all the email addresses for your first graders in here. You can also upload, if you have an Excel file with a list of students and emails, you can upload that list to by using the CSV file option. There are also options that if your school uses Google Classroom, you can simply integrate Google Classroom into this. So you just simply click on Google Classroom, you sign in with your Google account, you browse through the list of your classes, and it will be associated with your Google Classroom or Google Class in Google Classroom. Then under features here, so typically you need to enter at least one email address. Then under group followers, this is where you can enable whether the students will receive email notifications. And then under the group status, you can activate or hide a specific group. Under personalize, this is where you can post a banner for your specific group here. You can pick different options and then you press select the group. Now, once you select the group, you can share it in a variety of ways. You can copy and paste this and post this link send it via email or post it in your learning management system, or you can use a QR code. You can create a QR code here. You can share it in Google Classroom. You can embed it in various platforms, even on Twitter and so on. Now, once we have the group, notice that the group has been created. This is our heading for our group, and you can view it as a student. Also, you can add a coworker to manage this group. So here they term it as adding a CoPilot, and you simply click on it and you add somebody's name to be able to manage this group or this class. Now, the idea here is that whoever you add here, they have to have an educator email, like from your school, and also they'll have to activate their account first in Flipgrid. Now, down here under topics, you have the list of topics that currently are in this group, and this is by default what Flipgrid creates. And also you have a list of students that we added from the emails earlier. If you want to block students and so on, you can click here on Actions to kick them out of that class. To modify this group, you have these options here, and also the Edit the Group Code and Group Name as well. Now, under Topics, this is where you can create a new topic for you to discuss with your group. Now, once you click here on Create Topic, then you basically would give it a name. And basically here, and then at this point here, you can have a prompt for them so that you want them to watch the videos and then post your video. Now, you can have as many details as you want. Notice that you can format this text as you need as well. At this point, you can record a video of your own to set the stage, and it's highly recommended that you do so. Or you can embed and upload a video that you may have in your computer, or a video from YouTube or Vimeo or other platforms as well, video from other platforms. So in this case, let's say that I wanted them to watch the video directly from YouTube. So you click here on Add Video, and then you'd go and browse for a video on YouTube and get the URL for it. And I assume you know how to do this. And then you press Next. It's going to give you a preview of it. You can click on Add, and then at this point, it has embedded that particular video. Now you can click here as well under the View Media Sources option, and additionally you can record a video of your own as well. So you click here on Record Video, and then it's going to prompt you to replace the video that we chose from YouTube. So in this case, let's say we want to replace it. So at this point we have our video here, and then we scroll down, and then you can also specify whether somebody can access this via as a guest by entering a password. And you may want to select this option. You simply click on that option and then give it a password. And it needs to meet a specific criteria. Then the topic moderation, this is where you can specify whether you need to approve all comments or not in your video. Also, you can specify the recording time, how long it needs to be. Notice it allows for only up to 10-minute recordings. Then, under more options here, you can specify additional attachments or links that you want the students to access and view. So let's say you want them to go to see the solar system, to go to this article or website, and then you're basically adding those specific resources. Under the status, you can make it active, and also you can specify the scheduled dates when to make this available. As far as notifications, you can allow notifications frequency daily, and allow students also to receive email notifications. You can set up all kinds of other options here. You can allow likes, sticky notes, and so on. You can allow the download. Then under the feedback, this is where you can specify a rubric if you're going to grade this work using a rubric. So the basic rubric, it's as the term there states, it's very basic. But if you want your specific rubric, you can choose custom feedback. Unfortunately, this is named as feedback, but basically take this as the rubric. So you can replace this, instead of custom feedback, this would be rubric. Then you click on Create Topic. Now at this point, you are prompted with the option to share it. You can share it again, very similar to the group. You can share it by sending the link, your QR code, embedding in Google Classroom, embedding it on Twitter or other social media platforms, and then you are all set. So now the students will see something very similar to this. And you can also get the student view here. And then this is the join code that the students would enter from the main website, or if they are already part of the first grade class, they'll be able to access it without entering any codes. So the students have access to it. They have access to the prompt. I would suggest that you make the prompt a little longer so that there's a paragraph or so of text. And then they have a link to the external website, and then they can play the video directly from here. Now the student responses will show up down here under the discussion. They'll have an option to record the response from here. And that's how you create a group and how you create a discussion topic to share it with your students. Now for the students to respond, or for you to respond via video discussion here, you click on Record a Response. Now I'm not going to be able to demonstrate this aspect of it because apparently it does not allow the camera usage and the microphone reusage due to the software that I'm using to record this. So the camera and the microphone is locked up at this point, so I can't demonstrate it. But basically, you'd simply press record there and record your discussion. Now typically your discussions will show up very similar to this. So let's say I have this topic and the student responded. And by the way, the camera recording, once you're able to enable this on your end, you can also do half of the screen with your webcam, and then the other half of the screen, it can be just a whiteboard, or it can be just a screen capture and things of that nature. So play with the options that are available in there. Now, under details, this is where you can post a public comment for any of your viewers or any of your users. So just type your comments here and press submit, and then this will be your comments. Now, for you to go and provide feedback and grade this, you can click here under feedback, and this is where you can record feedback for your students and also utilize a rubric to grade the student's work. Under the rubric, this is that basic rubric or the basic feedback that I emphasized earlier when you create the topic. And if you want to edit this rubric, you can click here and edit. And basically, the basic feedback or the basic rubric, you're just for ideas, you're giving them, you're scoring it up to 5. And then for the performance, you're scoring up to 5, and then also providing feedback. Now note that the feedback that you provide is going to be a private feedback for that student. Once you're done with the feedback, you can either copy the link to the feedback and email it to your users or students, or you can email the feedback directly from here. Under edit, this is where you could edit responses and information that you have posted. And then under captions, this is where you can update your captions as well. So that's the discussions and the groups. Now in this next session of the Flipgrid video tutorial, I'm going to demonstrate how to use the discovery tool. The discovery tool is basically reusing various topics or Flipgrid topics that are created by other Flipgrid users in your classes. So basically think of it like templates that others created and now you're reusing them. So here there are some featured ones. There are the topics of the day. You can do browse by subject, by trending topics, and also you can search by subject here, by community, and so on. So the easiest is to search the topics. So click on search topics, and then the best at this stage is to look at the engagement and also how many times a specific Flipgrid has been reused by other users. So if you go here under used, you can sort it, and then notice that there are some that have been used 3,000 times and some that have been used only once. So for the sake of simplicity here, just pick what you want, and then notice that it has more information here. You can preview it, you can save, it gives you more information about it, the community, the ages, and so on, and then the subject, and then you can add it to specific collections. So you click on add topic, and then you can add it as an individual topic to your account, or you can add it to a specific group. This would be to add it to your actual class and share it with them. So I choose here, add it to the first grade, and then click on next. And then you go to my topics. Once it has been added, and if you go here under the groups and the grades, so notice we have grades here, first grade. Notice there's the math talk. Here, you'll click on the topic, and you can modify it from here. You can share it from here, or you can take additional actions from here. So once you update it, you can even resubmit it back to the discovery for others to use it. So at this point, let's say I want to edit this, and I can edit it from here, or I can open it up first and then choose to edit from the top right. At this point, I could add more details, more prompts in here, Could add, this is the media from Google, could change it to my own media, can change it with a guest password if I wanted to, and comment moderation and all that type of stuff. And also remember to change the rubric if you need to. Once you update the topic, it's ready to be shared. The students will be able to view it and so on. So basically, you are reusing a discussion topic from another platform or another Flipgrid user. And then basically here, manage the responses for those users. In the next session here, I'm going to demonstrate how to use mixed tapes. The mixed tapes is basically you creating a playlist of your topics and then sharing that playlist with whoever you want. So you kind of control the access without having to create a new class. So to create a new playlist, you simply give it a title. Notice there's a code as well. You describe it. You can specify a password as well, and then you click on Create Playlist. Here you can add your videos to the playlist. And you add your videos from your recent activity list. So you go here on the recent activity, and you have your lists. You choose to add it to the playlist. And notice you have the option here to add it to mixed tapes under the Actions option. You choose to add it to the list, and basically you go here under mixed tapes, under this playlist, that has been added. So basically, the advantage of this is that you can have a playlist that you share with others, and then within that playlist you can take away and add to that list as you need behind the scenes without having to reshare the playlist. And then finally, shorts. Here is the option where you can create a video and then share this video with anyone without needing a code or a password. So to create a short, and these shorts are just basically another term for a short video. Those videos, by the way, can be only up to 10 minutes long. That's the limit at this stage, at this point. To create a new video, you simply click on Record a Short, and then use the functionality from the camera. Now, because of the recording software that I'm using, I cannot reuse my camera here, but basically just do the play with the options that are available there. Press, there will be an option for continue, next, next, and anything positive, and you'll end up with a video very similar to this. At this point, you can add a title to it and update it. And then to share it, you can simply copy it, copy the URL, and then you can go ahead and share it with anyone, and there's no need for a password or anything like that. So that's how Flipgrid works. Hopefully you found this video helpful, and it's free, it's very powerful, and hopefully it makes a difference in teaching remotely or in online education, or just to simply enhance your teaching and the learning experience for your students.